All right. It is 11. Let's get going. Hey, everyone. You guys are all so great. All right, let me make sure that we've got. Let's see. Are we recording? Oh, we are. We're recording already. Perfect. Okay. Get our screen back, Sharon. How is everyone today? We were talking grandparents, grandkids up here, and the reality that some babies are just ugly. Not hers. She stole all the genes from everyone else. So if you come out with an ugly baby or grandbaby, then blame her. Yep. Don't worry, they cuten up. I've got one. We haven't told her yet that she was ugly baby, but because she's cute now. Well, welcome. Today we're excited to go through our family reunion panel and talk about some of the amazing things that happened the last couple weeks. I want to go through a few things, make sure that you guys have at the top of your mind. See if my clicker is working. Okay, let's see. Are we ready right now, Ed? Do you want to have you come up right now? That way we, just in case, because we appreciate Ed coming with Bridge Home Inspections. He is our lunch sponsor today, and want to give you a chance to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you. Well, I do inspections. You guys know what that is. You know, I do along all along the Wasatch Front, up into the mountains, out into the desert. I do just about everywhere. But anyway, really wasn't expecting to come this soon. But anyway,
Surprised you.
yeah. Well, who likes free stuff? Let's just get to the meat and potatoes here. Okay. So we're giving away at this time a complimentary radon testing. So this is an add-on, and it has to be done this week, but it's transferable. If you have an agent friend, you can go, hey, here's a free add-on inspection, radon inspection. So it's just this week. My boss authorized it. So, and we're a paperless company, so we're going to do this paperless. Okay, it's going to be painless too. So all those, and even online, who are interested in participating in the giveaway, put in my number, and I'm going to give you at some point a now, and you text your name to me, okay? So you have to enter it in right now. So the number is 702.
Yeah. Make it easy.
Perfect. 937 4733. And just put your name in the text. I'll give you a minute, or not a minute, but a couple of seconds anyway. Okay, everybody ready? Ready for the mark? Mark, get set, go. Okay. What's that? Your name. Ed. Jeffs. Jeffs. All right, I hope that worked good. Probably didn't give you enough time, but anyway. I got sushi for you guys. It's counting the numbers here. It's gonna be kind of an all-you-can-eat, so help yourself. Don't spare. I mean, if you want more, just get it, okay? We got a lot of good sushi back there. Anyway, that's all I got. Ed with Bridge Home Inspections.
Awesome. Thank you, Ed. We're going to have the sushi eating contest at the end. Excellent. All right, Death by Chocolate. This is, as a reminder, of course, every time this is one of the events that we put on, we organize for you so that you can invite your clients to. Can you have a minute about this? Absolutely. I was going to say, he's coming up anyways.
Yep. Who bought tickets for, by show of hands, who got tickets? Those of you that don't have your hand, don't make me beg. We're a little behind on ticket sales for this year, and it takes a lot of time and energy. This is a great event, but if we don't get the turnout from the office, we're probably not gonna do it next year. Tickets are how much per person?
You put the mic up.
$10. Okay, $10. Can everybody buy 5? Just not. Okay. It's a really great event. It's coming up this Saturday. Even if you buy 1 or 2 tickets, we'd really appreciate it. If you don't have a client to give it to, come yourself, bring a friend. We had somebody mention you could do girls' night, guys' night out, bring them down. It's a lot of fun if you've never been to it, but we could really use another 100 tickets to be sold to help cover the cost on it. We also ask that if you come, little caveat, bring 50 pieces of chocolate. You don't have to go crazy. If you can't quite hit 50, just bring what you can. Pick up a variety pack of C's, nothing homemade, but we'd really like to have the support of it. And a suggestion I have, if you close, did everybody sell a few houses last year? Call those people that bought or sold with you this week and just text them an invite, say, show up at this time. I'd love to see you there. Okay, they're going to get, you don't need to get them any type of ticket. If you want to print one out, you could. So start with your past clients from this past year, your best friend. You know, if you can buy 5, 10, 15 tickets. And then I think we're going to do a little raffle. I'm going to try not to spend too much of the office's money, but for anybody that has bought tickets prior to right now and then buys them today, so this expires at 11:59, we're going to put it in a raffle and draw your name, and you win a $50 gift card of some type, Amazon, whatever. Sound good? Who's going to buy tickets?
Yes.
Who else is going to buy tickets?
Awesome.
Okay. Just speaking from 15 years experience, clients love it. I get people that just come every year. It really gives you a way to solidify the relationship. Dress code, yeah, it's not, formal. You don't have to wear a tux. People will show up business casual 2 and above. How's that? Am I okay with that? Okay, cool. Can I entertain questions?
Yeah.
Okay, Steve? It is located at the Midvale office. Everybody know where that is? Right in Fort Union. Address is right here. Center of the Valley location. We've done it. We did it last time we did it in office was when we opened up this office. People, my experience, they don't care where it's at. They love to see the chocolate fountains, the fancy chocolate and the fruit, and we make it look good. We get a photo booth. It really is a good event, and it's super easy to get to. It's on a Saturday night, so parking's not going to be an issue. We've had different venues where parking was an issue. So we just ask, please support the office, support this event. Your clients will love it. So it will pay dividends.
Yes. Ed? Caitlin, congrats. So on this, I like what Mike said. Sometimes we think about we have to do our whole database. Treat your top 5 people, your top 6, your top 10 people, whoever you did business with last year. That should be your main focus. This is one of those that it's just, hey, we're just giving back. And I promise you, anyone who has done business with your SOI for years, this comes back in dividends. They will come back, they will refer you, and there is somewhat of a sense of, I don't want to say, I'll say obligation, but they feel like, hey, you treated me, I want to take care of you when that opportunity comes up. So $50, if you can get 1 closing from this, that is one heck of an ROI. So overall, yeah, if it's whether you spend like 50 or 100, and the point is the office doesn't make any money on any of this. This is not a profit thing. It is just to serve you guys and to create the event. So if it's utilized, then obviously we want to keep doing it. If it's not, then we'll make changes next year. That's really as simple as it is. So it's one of those, as a reminder. Thank you, Mike. We need these things to be organized for us so that we can just serve our clients and make it easy for them.
But do you have this link for that, or a nice thing that we can email that?
Yeah,
We sure do. And it's been ready and done. I'm seeing some smiles. So it has been done and sent out. So if you haven't seen that yet, we want to make sure that you have that. Maybe
We'll
you send one directly here. Who else needs that email?
we'll send it out on Facebook with the
We'll send
where you
it
can
out again,
download
but
it.
for some reason you haven't gotten that, because we sent it out a couple times. Let's send one specifically here to Steve. Anyone else need that? Yeah. Give your email to Lisa. Make sure that we're sending it to the right one, and then anyone else have questions on that? Awesome. Okay. All right, we've got a few things coming up. We've got team meeting. There's Real Estate Tech Vision. This is on the 19th. And we're going to be accompanying that with our production awards for the month before. Welcome. Oh, you guys this is like VIP entrance right there. Yep. Nope, you're not going to be able to sneak in when you go through that door. Yeah. Okay, we've got Glow Up. This is also to glow up your brand and your image. This is on March 20th. All of these you should as well have in your email. So I'm going quick over them. If you need these again, you can find me afterwards. I'll make sure that you have all the details. Or if you can't find it in your email, we don't know if the email is not working. We send it out. So if we don't hear back, thank you for letting us know that you don't see it. We want to make sure that you're seeing it. So, all right, who has wondered and had seen on the news and everything else around the lawsuits that have been going on, right? We've been seeing that for a while. This is, I want to say not necessarily, it's pretty close to mandatory. No, because this is one of those things that you guys have questions on anyways, and we know that you're going to have questions on afterwards. This is Gary Keller. He is coming on and explaining everything around what has happened with these, with everything that's happened. This, sorry, I'm looking at two different things. We've got two coming up from Gary Keller. So we have two, and then that one's coming up. Anyways, we have, what date is our other, in, oh man, I'll find it. You know what a date is? If you can find that one with Gary Keller, where he talks about our March 26th, where he's talking about the lawsuits. Oh, am I looking at it wrong? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I was thinking, I was like, man, we know we booked a couple of these. Well, don't let me confuse you. Come to this. I know, too late. Wow. I screwed that one up, didn't I? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Whoever wants to volunteer, you're welcome to come up and do this. I'm just kidding. So this is the value squared. So we want to make sure that you guys are very clear on what your value is and be able to present it to your clients, because this is also going to be talking about what happened around those the lawsuits, so that you guys are well informed. Okay.
Hey gang, Jason Abrams coming to you, and I want to talk about a very important topic. That topic is value. Our industry is ever evolving. Today, more than ever, real estate agents must understand not only what their value is, but how to explain that value to a potential client. You see, the challenge of all businesses is that we have to articulate our value before our customer or client ever experiences it. And that's what our course, Value Squared, is all about. We're going to be covering from top to bottom. What is our value to both buyers and sellers? How is that value explained? How do we build trust with clients during and after and even before the transaction? And most importantly, we're going to talk about cooperative compensation. What are the words that we use around it, and how do we think about our strategies? Friends, Value Squared is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to assess where we are, but more importantly, about planning where we're going. Join us. Click the link below, and it's going to bring up all the dates that we're going to be teaching it. Gary, Jay, and I will be coming you directly from KWRI. We're excited about it. We hope you are too.
Just a quick thought and note on this. This is the time to, like when I watch that, it reminds me, this is the time to double down on your value in your business, your skill, your what you're going to do to present more for your clients. This is the time that's going to separate the biggest gap between those agents that are truly doing that and those that are not. We're seeing every day those agents that are not putting a focus in their business, they're not selling homes. They're not, because the market is a little bit slower than we've seen in the last few years. But this is an opportunity. So your mindset, just make sure your mindset is in the right place. It should not be a fear-based mindset. This is the opportunity where you guys can take so much more market share than you have in the past. And by adding, that's what this whole class is meant to be about. So put this on your calendar. It will benefit your business. We've got Code of Ethics coming. This is a 3-hour core CE. We know that a lot of people need this. Yep. So this is, yeah, there's a lot. We get a list. Amy went over that list, and this is why we're bringing it here, to make it as easy as possible. Sometimes this creeps up on us, and we don't realize, hey, we need this. So this is one of those needed courses. So put this on your calendar. This is on April 4th here. Mega Camp. So we just finished with Family Reunion. We're going to talk about that. Mega Camp is the next convention that we have coming up. This is in August. And of course, early tickets are less expensive. So right now, early bird tickets are $6.59. This is the one that's in Austin every year. There are some people that love Mega Camp better than Family Reunion, and some people that like Family Reunion better. The main difference is Family Reunion, you have a lot more breakouts. You go in separate ways into different rooms. This one, they usually tend to bring top producers on stage, and they do interviews on stage for those who have been to ETH. That's probably, anyone else give a different idea on what that's what I've noticed the biggest difference is between the two. It's fewer days. Yep. Yeah, they bring them on the main stage. Okay, so this is another thing to look forward to your business. They're timed out really nicely so that you're usually this Family Reunion and this time of year, you'll have a lot of momentum moving into it, and then maybe we need a little bit of another boost. This one doesn't have a ton of like hoorah rah, but it does, seeing other people succeed is motivational. So put this one on your calendar. All right, to our main event. I'm excited about these people. They agreed to come and tell us about their experience at Family Reunion and bring back some of the amazing nuggets that they got. So we want to invite these people up here. Let's give them a warm welcome. Got big Becky, Pedro, Emily, Todd, Shelly, and Christy Lynn couldn't make it, but Sari, where are you? Oh, I was looking right past you. We do need, Aaron, can you help bring out a couple more of these? All right. Awesome. Okay, do we have everyone? Got a chair? Excellent. Okay, these amazing people, they came to Family Reunion. I've got a few questions that I want to ask, and then we'll just kind of pass around a mic. Let's see, we're missing one, so we'll just share down there at the end. So first of all, what we want to know, without getting into the detail of the different nuggets, what I want to know first of all is just your overall experience at Family Reunion. Some people have not been, and for some of you, it was your first time. And so let us know your overall view if you were to look down at a high level. We'll get into specific nuggets and in just a second. So save those ones. Do you want to start right here, Pedro?
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy I went to these events. It was my first time actually going to one of these kind of events, and also actually knowing a little bit better my team in my brokerage. I never had this experience before. In my previous brokerage, I started in I got my license in 2019, so I did just one transactions, and then I moved to a different brokerage, and then I just knew my broker from that brokerage and nobody else. But this was a great experience. I met like great people, my team, and I find like really good value on the content, the speakers, the opportunity to. Oh,
There you go.
oh, okay. So true. And then we had the opportunity to, and then and yeah, no, it was a little bit better. We got a few surprises as well, and then a lot of things to pick. I mean, a lot of topics, a lot of training, and then it was great. That's it.
All right. Yeah, what is it on?
I'm not
Some of
sure
them
this
are on
might.
the
Oh,
same channel, so we might have to
Yours works?
pass around.
Okay, mine's just gonna be quick
That's
in the
fine.
beginning. Just do it. Just go. I learned so much and I loved so much and I feel like I'll be a lot better agent from going.
So for me, I'm a newer agent, and so it was a huge leap of faith to spend the money to go. I was very anxious. We all want a good return on investment, and I wasn't sure. And I did it, and I'm so glad I did. I learned so much. I met some new people. We had a great time. It was nice to connect with other agents here in a different way, in a less businessy way sometimes, and really form deeper friendships. So that was really great. But it was kind of scary, but yeah, just go.
I would say you two keep our secrets on the DL. Shh, don't be talking about the after parties. No, I'm just teasing. Family reunion was awesome. This was my first year as well, been at KW for 2 years. So I didn't really know what to expect. I am glad that I went. And from my very first session, my very first meeting, it really set the tone for what I was after and what nuggets I was searching for in my business. And then I was able to target those workshops from there. So I would say if you're thinking about it, absolutely go. The value is definitely there.
This is my third time going. I think one underrated aspect of going to family reunion is going there to make connections with agents from across the country. Emily and I have received multiple referrals from people that we met like at the Red Bash party and just walking around communicating. And that could be, if you get one referral from a family reunion, that pays for your ticket for that year or the next following year. So that's one thing I would say, besides the education, is to go there and try to make those relationships with the other Keller Williams agents across the country.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. One of the highlights, we had Tony Robbins come and he spoke to everyone. So I'd love to ask your guys, specifically focusing on that area, what takeaways you got from that you can share with us. And while going through that, some people might steal yours, and I don't know, you don't feel the obligation. You have to, everyone have to have an amazing nugget, but share your own experience from specifically around the Tony Robbins takeaways.
The thing that I wrote down that I thought was the best, that stuck with me and I can't stop thinking about it. He said, it's not the market, it's always you. And then he kind of went around and talked a little bit more about that, but the ball's in your court, how your business is going to be. It's not the market. You can't use that as an excuse. So there's lots of others, but that's my favorite.
Well, one of the things that kept my mind from that overall experience, just to get a good spot to to run around 15,000 agents to get a good seat to see Tony Robbins. So it was like like movement really gives you a different energy. So when you believe and you believe in actions, really generate a difference. And one of the things that came, if we don't know exactly the answer, but if we do something for that, and if we take action for what we dream about, things are going to happen. and then we're gonna find the right way to get where we're gonna go.
So for those that didn't see it at the beginning, is this one working? I think. So at the beginning, they had dancers coming up on stage, and they didn't even, that's how they started, is all of a sudden people are just dancing. And I think that's what Pedro was talking about, is the energy getting going. So a little bit more context. And that surprised me. They didn't even announce anything. It was just dancers started going, and pretty soon everyone was dancing along. It was interesting introduction, but yeah, keep going.
So when I'm a big note taker, and when I went back to look at what I had taken notes for Tony Robbins, I found I actually hadn't taken any. I had nothing. And so, which is yay, but actually that in itself for me was my biggest takeaway, is I was so present in the moment and not worrying about taking the notes. I was just absorbing it and finding the motivation and taking that in. That's what I got from it, is being in the moment and present is so much more fulfilling.
Yeah, I would say ditto to that. I did not have a lot of notes from Tony Robbins. Also, I don't know if y'all can see this, but this is what Tyler's talking about. They had like a full drum line come up. It was so cool. I don't know if you guys can see that. It was really awesome. Also, I just want to like say, for like logistic purposes, I bought the gold ticket. So I was sitting, it's reserved seating like for the front, I don't know, 25 rows. And I would say if you're able to do that at least once in your business, one of the years that you go, do that. Tony Robbins was literally right here next to my chair. So it was super cool. I was going to bring up, it's probably hard for you guys to see, but I was going to bring a photo. He's literally standing.
How
right
much
here.
did you pay for that?
Do you really want to know? Who asked me that? Pedro. Oh, it's you. Another $500. So, but that being said, you're literally sitting behind Jay Papazan. I got my photo with him. You're able to kind of mingle down with, you know, the top people within KW. And it was I was just so inspired by, you know, sitting there. You didn't have to run as
It's
fast,
worth it because I
right?
had to run. So
I mean, that place was huge, and just being able to have that reserved seat, for me, it was worth it. Yes, it was expensive, but worth it.
Plus you got the cool lanyard.
Plus I got the cool lanyard. I kept calling it my $500 lanyard, right? Because it was my $500 extra ticket, but they gave you like this cool little gift pack with it. So I would say if you're able to do that, it's nice. It's an extra.
I will not lie. I was volunteering at a booth during Tony Robbins' talk. So I heard the drum line and I heard him talking about feeding families, but that was,
So everyone was getting energized and you were getting depressed.
no, because I was talking to everybody that was in the line. I saw Eden there, and it was quite humorous to see people start lining up an hour beforehand and just see the line stretch all the way down the booth. But
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was one of the takeaways to add on to that is you can change your energy in an instant. You control, which is hard. I don't know if anyone else closer. If you're in a bad mood and maybe you feel like you're ever in a downward spiral, anyone else felt that other than me, right? Like maybe you get that text or something from a client and everything else is just, it just gets worse and worse. He taught some specific tactics where, you know, introducing and putting your muscles in your face, smiling, breathing, stretching out your body, changing your state of mind, your thought process can help you in an instant switch your mindset and your thinking so that you can show up for that next person or show up for yourself. Change, because I don't know about you, but I hate being in those bad moods. It happens and sometimes it's hard to get out of. But that was one of the things that I appreciated, is the energy that you can create in a moment can help you get out of those state of beings. Anything else on Tony Robbins?
Yeah, I would just say one other key takeaway that I had is focus. And that's one of the takeaways that I had from multiple speakers, but especially, you know, with the energy that he brings and, you know, is talking about And we hear that in KW too. We often hear, find your why, right? Like, what's your why? And then focus on that, right? So focus is a big part of that. Change your energy, focus on that, and find your one thing. So there's so many things that you can get lost in when you go to a conference like this. And I just felt like that was a really powerful moment to just be really intentional and focus on your one thing and really understand your why behind that.
Awesome. Anything else on Tony Robbins? What I learned is we just need to have backup dancers. So anyone who wants to volunteer to start off our next meetings. Yep. Okay, so Mel Robbins, unrelated to Tony, she was another one of the key speakers. And can someone up here who feels like they give us a brief overview of her main message, and then that way we kind of know what she talked about. Let's go move forward with some of the takeaways from you.
We have one. We have one from this morning.
We always have one.
So I would say Mel Robbins, if you don't follow her, she's awesome. Do it. Like, find her on Insta and follow her now. She's amazing. But her primary message is that she shared. She's like, it's really simple. Like, honestly, I feel like I could walk out here, give this in 5 seconds and walk off stage, right? But it's her countdown method. If you guys follow her, it's, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then move. So it's the move part that she kind of focused on, like it's taking action. So along with kind of what we were saying, focus and taking action. But I'm going to totally throw Sari on the spot if that's okay. So this morning we had a couple panel speakers back out, and I just had the idea, hey, Sari, this was her first year. She was going back and forth on whether or not to go because of the cost and the expense and to family reunion. And so we went back and forth, and I was like, well, how can we help you get there? And was really excited for her. And anyway, it's your story to share, so you can finish with that. But this morning, when we had a couple panel speakers back out, I pinged Tyler and I said, can we get Sari up there? I think she could share for all of those people who may be on the fence and speak to her why and what ended up getting her here. And then I called her and I said, hey, how would you like to be on the panel? Literally an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. And her first reaction, oh, I don't know about that. And this is kind of what Mel Robbins talks about. It's can be really terrifying to do the hard things. So I'm going to let her speak to that. But her 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go kind of happened this morning.
Yeah, it really did. She called and I was frantically getting ready for the day because of course I was running late, as one does. And we were chatting and she's like, how would you feel about that? And my first reaction was, oh dear, no, like I am not prepared. I'm not going to have time to get prepared. And just in talking about it, and I mean, it wasn't like this long, deep discussion, but when I took a moment to pause and think about it, I was like, no, I can do this. I went there. I can talk about it. I had a great time. I learned a lot, and that default of fear and anxiety, I don't want to live in that. And so I was just like, yeah, actually I'm want to do it. I'm excited. And I actually did take notes, a few notes with Mel Robbins thing that I was looking at. And what the biggest thing that I got from hers was that if you sit in fear, it grows. But if you start moving, it shrinks. And so here I am.
Tell us the story of the audience participant / volunteer, non-volunteer. Wasn't a volunteer.
Victim.
Yep. The victim from the audience. Who wants to share that one?
Nope. You're up, Shell.
Okay, so she went out into the audience and just walked around. She was looking for somebody who was really scared because she wanted to show this in action. And so she picked this girl that was absolutely terrified. She was about ready to cry. And then she asked her, was it 3 different things? Oh, 3 envelopes. That's right. And the first envelope, she gave her the choice. Do you want to do this or not? So she went ahead and did it. First envelope was to go up on the stage with Mel Robbins. The second envelope.
And granted, she was shaking.
She was like,
She
you
was
could see
shaking.
her up on the screen. She was ready to cry. She was
Terrified.
absolutely terrified. Yeah. So she went up on the stage with her, and then she had her do a second thing. And anyway, each thing that she had to do, Mel Robbins would check in with her, and her fear lessened as she was doing the action. So she showed us, through this process, what it actually means to have your fear decrease with action. Yes. So we sang happy birthday. Yeah, to whoever's birthday it was. And anyway, it was awesome. And I would say that was my takeaway. And then she says, you're one decision away from a different life. And the more you think, if you sit in thinking will hold you back.
So me and my team actually read her book as one of our book clubs about the countdown. And the other one that goes along with that really well is, has anyone ever heard of Eat the Frog? Right? So if you do both of those, and kind of the takeaway that we have from our team is, if you do the hard things first thing in the morning, like make your calls, schedule your day, time block, then the rest of your day, you're going to be so much more free and less anxious, because the more you sit in the anxiety and fear, the less you're going to want to do. And you're going to end up doing fake busy work, which is not going to produce business for you at all. So if you can just grasp what you need to do, count down to it, and just eat that frog every single day, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah. And I would say in my business along those lines, I do plan the hardest thing first. The hardest things are time blocked on the first of my calendar, things that I hate, get it out of the way. The rest of the day seems to flow from there. So it's fantastic advice.
So the concept came from the book that she wrote is the 5-second rule. So if you want to look that one up, it kind of goes over the concept of what she taught on stage. And basically, if you're feeling like there's a fear or there's something that you don't want to do, she gave the example. I don't know how many of us, we wake up in the morning and we don't want to get out of bed. Her example was, man, I just don't want to go and tackle the day. So that's where this whole thing started, is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And on go, you have to move in some way. The other note that I thought was interesting is she said you can't count from 1 to 5. That doesn't work. The psychology of it, you can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go. It is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And she explains it like a rocket ship blasting off. Yeah, it was, how many of you guys, I was excited for Tony Robbins, but how many of you guys were not more impressed, but thought that Mel Robbins was even better for you? Yeah. Yeah, I actually heard that quite a bit. Not to devalue Tony, it was he was kind of the huge highlight. At the same time, Mel's main basic concept of getting moving, going, was such a highlight and beneficial. Yeah.
One thing that Mel talks about is nobody is coming to rescue you. Like sometimes we just wait for things to happen to us in life and wonder, why aren't all these great things happening to me like they are to somebody else? But she just reminds us that nobody is coming to rescue us. And so we need to take that action. And I love that from her. And also one thing that Tony Robbins did, was he had us close our eyes and he said, think of this, now think of this. And it was all these great things. And if you were at all feeling down that day, you could think of some wonderful things in your life that gave you gratitude, and it moved you from feeling down to being grateful and emotional about something within just a little bit. And that was one of his huge messages too. And he did a lot of things for us to try to do role plays, so he could demonstrate to show us that was true, because we could feel it when we did it. We could actually feel the change. So I thought that was amazing from him as well.
Any other comments on Mel? Sari, thanks for showing us in action today.
Anytime.
Yep. Oh,
There we go.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It happens a lot.
all the time.
Only when I'm with other people. My phone gave up a long time ago.
Yeah, you just went off all over. Okay. All right, so now I want to focus on, there's a lot of breakouts in family reunion. Focus what are specific things that benefited you from those classes? What was the class, and what was your takeaway? And if there's a specific detail in some of those classes, they have like, this is what to do. If you happen to have those notes to remember that, then we'd love to hear that in the audience as well, so that we can participate, hopefully something good.
I think for me, walking around, talking, going to some of the classes, I think the thing that hit home to me is just the fact that you have to go back to the basics in this type of market. Like, basic and boring is also effective. You have to do your calls, you have to do your door knocking, you have to do your open houses, and no fancy technology, no shiny new toy will really, I mean, they might help you do those, but at the end of the day, it's you having to manually do the boring work consistently to be able to end up with the business that you want to have.
So I mentioned earlier that the very first breakout that I went to, it set the tone for the whole rest of Family Reunion for me. So this speaker was Carolyn, how do you say her last name? Huo. She's from the Bay Area. It was the luxury class. Anyway, I have notes that I have to share with you guys if you wanted kind of some of her key takeaways. Thanks, Erin. But the thing that I loved about that, and to, kind of add to what Todd just said, is she's a huge luxury agent in the Bay Area, as I mentioned, but I thought I was going to go in there and so she's going to teach me how to grow my luxury clientele and how I'm going to, what's the key nuggets to grab these clients. And here's one of the first things she said. Luxury is an experience that transcends price points. So she often has people reach out to her and they're like, oh, Carolyn, I only have $1 million house, right? Like, it's a nice house, but it's kind of becoming the average here in Utah too with our pricing. And she said, our luxury business, yes, we're a luxury business, but that transcends price points. They're giving that luxury experience to each and every single one of their clients, no matter the price point. And she talked about, what does your business look like? So again, it goes to focus for me, being intentional on the things that we are doing for our clients. What does that look like? She has a lot of out-of-state buyers or buyers selling their home to move out of state. And she said, to give us the vision of this, she said, how does it feel when somebody walks into your office and they decide to work with you? You have a client coming in from out of state and, they don't know where they're going, what hotel they're staying in, like the traffic is crazy. They weren't prepared for this or that. Are they bringing their kids? Are they not bringing their kids? Is grandpa flying with them? And then, they're trying to navigate through the traffic of downtown Bay Area, which most of us know is a little bit crazy. Arrive at the office, the person that's greeting them there doesn't know their name. They're like frantically looking in the book of who they are, and versus she has processes in place. And this is what I loved about what you said. She has the processes in place, and she's been very intentional about creating these luxury experiences. She sends a video to her client before they get an email of where they're staying and directionally what's the best traffic flow to get to their office. When they arrive at the office, if the kids are in tow, right? They already know this. They have a welcome Smith family sign there to greet them. Oh, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And we realize you've got the kids. Here's our conference room. They've got waters on the table. They have coloring books for the kids. She's even gone so far as to have somebody there for childcare if they're going out to tour. So she just talks about that experience and really defining what that looks like. What are your processes? What are the things that you're doing in your business? Because clients don't owe you your business, just because you have brother, sister, aunt, uncle, whoever, best friend from high school who you connect with, and they know that you're in real estate, they don't owe you their business. So work for it and have the processes in place. That's it.
You go first.
So the second breakout class that I went to, it was called The Magic of Getting Everything You Want. And they chose it just basically on the name because like we all want everything we want, right? And I didn't realize until I was in there that it was being the people who were speaking were Jay Papasan and Nikki Miller. And it was a fantastic breakout. And the thing, what they shared a lot of information, I'll be quite honest, and I'll just put all my notes in the Facebook group so anyone can download them. But the thing that they said that stuck with me is to pick one thing from the event that you take away. And it's not one thing per class, which is what I had planned on. And that was scaling it back instead of like the 12-step program for every single breakout class that I went to, which is not realistic and you're destined to fall short. But it was like one thing from the entire conference that you want to take home and work on. And for me, and it could have just been the classes that I went to, you know, we're all going to have different things. Mine were often kind of mindset based. But in taking that one thing, as I attended my other sessions and looked through my notes and reviewed them, the thing that stood out the most was I am the core of my business. No one else. It's me. And so that extends to taking care of yourself, getting sleep, scheduling downtime. And also a big thing I took away from that is that I mean, we all have to do some of the same things, but we're not all exactly the same. And I'm going to be most successful by leaning in to my talents and working on that versus trying to follow someone else's protocol. So whatever that is for me or you, what you uniquely bring to the business is what you're going to be the most successful at. And so that's what I really stood out to me. And in that, one of the quotes from the Jay Papasan and Nikki Miller class was, oh gosh, I forgot it now. It was,
We'll come back to you.
ironically, it's like, it's another word for like clarification. Anyway, download my notes. It'll be there highlighted. But it's basically is that your focus and figuring out what you need to be doing and what you're best at and where you need to go. That's 90% of the work. And the other 10% is just getting in working, just doing it. So that's it.
The class that I really liked, I liked them all, but this one, it was called Ask and You Shall Receive, Proven Systems for Consistent Client Referrals. So I won't do an overview, but I will give you just some takeaways of what you can do, because this is things that I liked. One of the things that, because we do quarterly events, right? Or at least you're told it's a great idea to do it. But they said, make sure you strategically plan your event, your spring event on purpose, because that's when the most listings come available. And so to have that be your most important event is in the spring and invite the most important people. As far as client referrals, they send out a Google Doc form for every single person that's before the event to sign up. And then they ask on that document, and then they ask, well, you know, they'll also follow up with a phone call and they say, who are you bringing that we should meet? And then they make sure and track people who do, you know, give them referrals, people who come to the events. And then they'll do some giveaways and stuff for that event. They talked about the importance of ask yourself, who are the 5 people that would recommend you anytime to anyone. So, you know, your raving clients that would give you raving reviews. And they said to make sure you reach out to those 5 people once every 2 weeks and have nothing to do with real estate. Just reach out to them and make sure that they know how important they are to you, whatever that is. In the beginning, in the buyer consult, they said to make sure to tell, like this is the most important sentence in your buyer consult, is to make sure to tell them that you expect them to be a 10 out of 10 raving fan And that if they're not one that you want feedback as to why they're not, and see, and then they said, don't take it personal and do better at your business from what feedback they give you. But if it's in their head from the beginning that you want them to be one of your biggest fans, they're more likely to refer somebody to you. And then my very favorite thing, and I would say this is my number one takeaway from the entire event, if I could say it in one sentence, but it was also in this class, is, and I highlighted it and it's up on my board, it says be better than the fee. So never make a client question your fee. Be better than that. So there's lots of others, and we can share our notes and stuff, but those are my favorite takeaways.
Awesome. My turn. So there was a lot of good classes. So I was questioning myself when I was, going on my way to go to the CEO summit, and then I realized I have to pay extra to get into. But I did, and it was really worth it. And so I had some notes here from one of the classes that it was really good, from Rory Baden. He was talking about branding, and the name of the class was The Influential Personal Brand. And then one of the things that he said is like, a brand is what people think about when they think about you. And he said that people more likely buy from you if they know you, right? And the second step is when they trust in you. And the way they're gonna trust in you if they see you, if they know you, and if they learn from you. And he gave us like a few tips in order to make this work. So one of the ideas that he shared with us, it was just picking a few questions that you think that you can answer to your clients, and that you can either do that, by week. And then you say how many weeks are in the year, so 52 weeks, and then you can pick like 52 questions, make a 6-minute video once a week, and then that video you can, divide it in different platforms, like take a portion of that video and share it in your Facebook, a portion of that video you share in your Instagram, different platforms. And then in that way, you're gonna be helping people, you're gonna be teaching people, and then you're gonna be able to know you better, and then more likely they're gonna buy from you. So I do a lot of social media. That was important for me because I do a lot of social media, but it's not something that I really like to do. I would prefer to have like a private life, but actually I realize it's important that people really knows you a little bit better, so they can just trust in you. And that's why referrals are always working pretty well, because they come from somebody that really had the experience with you, and then they have the opportunity to know you. So, but we live in a world right now that we can do that in different ways, and social media really helps a lot in that way. And another thing that he said at the end, which is really the cherry on the top, is that everything you share, you have to do it like with real intention. So helping people, serving people, if it's gonna be fake, everybody's gonna notice that as well. So if you do it in the right way, you really serving people, that's gonna work well for everybody. Yeah.
Excellent. We'll finish with one last thing, and I'm gonna ask them next while they are answering. You guys, I think if you guys have any other questions, we'll open it up for last minute or two if you have a question. If not, then we'll finish up. But the last thing that I'd love to ask you guys is, what is one action, something you are going to put that you intended or already putting in place, or what is one thing you are an action that you are doing in your business as a result of family reunion, whether you learned it there or just that reminded you? What's the one thing that you guys are going to put into action?
This one, is a non-negotiable for me that I'm putting into my business. And they said, track what you do for 48 hours every 15 minutes. Your eyes will be opened and make sure that your 20% is there, like what's most important. And then the only other thing I would add is they said, don't do what every other realtor's doing, be an original. And then they left with a quote that said, you were born an original, don't die a copycat.
Okay, I'll go then. I I came away with like a lot of things I wanted to do, but to narrow it down, I think for me is not just doing the 20%, but making sure I'm deciding what that 20% is and being intentional about it. So for me, I have found, just given my personality and the way I work with other people, events are a big cornerstone, probably more than I thought they would be. And so I'm leaning more into doing smaller SOI events. Like I'm doing a monthly paint night, and I set the Eventbrite to private, but the universe had other ideas and put it out public. So more than half of the people that are coming tonight are complete strangers, and I panicked, but now I'm just kind of leaning into it. So we'll see how that goes. But so it's just for me focusing on being intentional on every aspect. So I'm not great at lead generating. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be very intentional about it. I'm going to be intentional about how I run open houses and follow up with people and follow up with my clients. It's really just, I guess that is my thing, is being intentional in everything.
I love that you said that, because intentionality is my word this year on my vision board. So, and I do appreciate that family reunion. A lot of that was about focus, being intentional, finding that one thing, and, just breaking it down to what's going to make the biggest difference in your business. Stop thinking about it and put it into action. So that was really scary for me, because I'm like, okay, I need an ops manager. You guys, I hired an ops manager. So that's what I did when I got home. So yeah, she should be walking in here any minute. Her name's Evelyn, but she's great. So my ops manager's hired. Woohoo.
For me, my team simply is consistency. Like just to do the same things day in, day out, consistent follow-up, consistent planning, consistent prospecting. Because I think a lot of times real estate, at least people don't respect themselves enough to treat this as a full-time job. So they will slave away for $40,000 a year, 40 hours a week, being on time with those jobs because they're afraid they're being fired, but yet they won't give themselves that same respect, right? And so I'm trying to teach my team to be consistent, to respect themselves enough to put in that 40 hours for themselves, because their earning potential is unlimited if they want to do that. So it's all about consistency with that.
Oh, well, two things. One of the things that I got from the family reunion is trying to serve more and better, and not always for a commission. And then I was trying to find that way, or find something to help people, and then I got hired. Robin is not here, but she brought me to this community. This is embarrassing, but I will be, yeah, okay, she will be seeing that, but I've been hired to teach English, probably level 0, for the Hispanic community. But yeah, that was as a volunteer, and that was something that, I was looking for something that actually came to me, and then I'm grateful for that opportunity. And the other thing is, that I got from family reunion is getting, learning from people that knows better than you will help you a lot to grow your business. So, and then coaching is always good. And then I've been getting coaching that actually it's helping me open my eyes and then find another ways to grow my business. And I'm also happy with that and applying this kind of stuff. Thank you guys, and thank you, Tyler, for be my coach. And then thank you for inviting me for this good event.
Excellent. Well, let's give them a round of applause. Were there any questions that you guys had that you wanted to bring up? If there's something, they'll be around as we're eating, go up and ask them if there's something that comes up, you want to dive a little bit deeper. But just as an encouragement, what is one thing that you plan to put into action for yourself based on whether it's something they said, maybe an idea that they gave you, or something that maybe the idea popped in because you're here today? What's something from this meeting that you intend to do? And I would encourage you to take that first step within 24 hours. If you don't, odds are it will have been a great idea and be in the past, right?
Can I say one last thing, Tyler?
Yes.
Can I see a show of hands of who has not ever attended a family reunion? Yeah, prior to this. Raise them high, raise them high. Who from this meeting is committed to go? Hey, I have a little gift bag. So I'm going to see the first hand.
Oh.
So that's for you.
was
Come and
just-
talk to me after because we want to see you there.
That's awesome.
We'll
And
make
that-
the preference seat for Tony Robbins next.
Yes.
Yep. That's awesome. And that's just out of just kindness. And it really is like there's the office, these agents, we don't get anything back. It is sincerely something that we know helps us in our own businesses and want to see everyone else grow. So let's give our panelists one more round of applause and then let's go back and eat.